So I want to now talk about the New York Jets' new franchise quarterback, that guy being Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson was drafted with the number 2 overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. And what you need to know is the New York Jets moved on from Sam Darnold this past year. Sam Darnold was the number 3 overall pick back in the 2018 NFL Draft. He had a lot of hype surrounding him coming out of USC. I was not a huge Sam Darnold fan. In fact, I was actually a guy that endorsed the New York Jets moving on from him. I felt they should have drafted Justin Fields or Trey Lance to replace him. And look, I understand why Joe Douglas wanted to hit the reset button and start things over because Joe Douglas did not want to put his future in Sam Darnold's hands because you never know if Sam Darnold would have panned out with a new coaching staff and things like that. And by the way, this was a really good quarterback class. So he fell in love with Zach Wilson and he's going to take a shot on the guy. So I understand what Joe Douglas, the current New York Jets general manager, wanted to do. Now, here's the thing, people. I like to be a positive guy. And I like to tell you that all 5 of the first-round quarterbacks are going to succeed, win Super Bowls, and have great careers. Those quarterbacks drafted in the first round were Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones. I'm rooting for all 5 of those guys. But in reality, not all of them are going to become great quarterbacks. It is highly, and I mean highly unlikely, that all 5 of them are a home run. Because usually in a draft, you get about 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks that hit. It's just the harsh reality. There's only 32 spots for starting quarterbacks in the world today, okay? And there are constantly new quarterbacks coming in and out of college that are going to get better and better. And it's just one of those things where some coaching staffs are going to build around their quarterback better than others. And some guys are going to work out. Some guys are not going to work out. That's just how it is, okay? And unfortunately, my gut tells me that the Zach Wilson experiment with the New York Jets is not going to work out. I don't see Zach Wilson living up to the hype. Now, could he become a good quarterback? Yes, he has the talent. He has some skills to become a good quarterback. But could he also become a bust or the Josh Rosen of this draft class? Yes, that is possible. And I would say, based on Zach Wilson's talent and based on where he landed, I believe Zach Wilson, out of all 5 of the first-round quarterbacks, he's the most likely to become a bust. He has the most to overcome. You want to know why? Because where you land matters. Trey Lance, you know where he landed? He landed on a Super Bowl caliber roster with the San Francisco 49ers, with Kyle Shanahan as his head coach. He's going to get star wide receivers, really good running backs, an elite defense to back him up. I think Trey Lance has a great chance to succeed because of the environment around him. Mac Jones, he lands with Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, a well-run organization. They're going to put good players around him. He's going to get a good coaching staff. He's going to be able to sit behind Cam Newton for a year and learn if he needs to. Justin Fields, he inherited a playoff team from this past year. The Chicago Bears made the playoffs last year. They have some talent on that roster. Okay? And we could talk about Trevor Lawrence landing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I believe in Urban Meyer. I believe that roster is underrated. I believe in that wide receiver core. I like James Robinson. I like Travis Etienne. Jacksonville has some real players. Here's the situation Zach Wilson is going into. First of all, a brutal division. Brutal division. Brian Flores, Sean McDermott, and Bill Belichick are the coaches that he will face 6 times a year. And with the first-year head coach, that's not an offensive-minded guy in Robert Saleh, I'm not sure if it's going to work out, at least in year number 1. I could see Zach Wilson struggling out the gate, okay? Now, the Jets have improved their wide receiver core, their offensive line, they drafted a running back, but they were a bad team last year. They won 2 games, okay? Zach Wilson has the worst roster in his division by far. And he's going to be asked to play early, and he's going to face some really tough defensive-minded head coaches in that division year in and year out. Brian Flores, Sean McDermott, Bill Belichick, Those are three of the best defensive-minded head coaches in all football. They give young quarterbacks fits, especially Bill Belichick. And if I'm Zach Wilson, that's not a situation I would want to walk into. Now, there's also some things I don't really particularly like about Zach Wilson's game. I think he's really bad under pressure and with bodies around him. He tries to ad-lib way too much, and he's had some injuries in college, okay? There is some durability concerns. And listen, people compare Zach Wilson to Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. He's not those guys. Not even close. Not even close to those guys. He has a good arm, but not a dynamic arm like those guys. He has good mobility, but not great mobility, you know. And look, at BYU, Zach Wilson was a front runner. He did not beat good teams at BYU, okay? He did not beat elite competition, okay? And when you look at Mac Jones, Justin Fields, and Trevor Lawrence, you know what all three of those quarterbacks had in common? They led their teams to a national championship game versus the best of the best. At Ohio State, at Alabama, at Clemson, you face tough opponents. I know you're going to say that, oh, those guys have star wide receivers and star running backs to hand the ball off to and throw to. I get that. But those guys have been tested against the best as well. They faced Alabama. They faced Clemson. They faced Ohio State. They faced a lot of good teams. And they performed well in those games. Okay? And even Trey Lance won a national championship in college at a smaller school. What has Zach Wilson done in big games to show you that he's going to be this franchise quarterback that's going to turn the New York Jets around? Okay? Where is his signature win? You can't find it, folks. Okay? Because here's the thing. Zach Wilson, in 5 games versus teams with 10 or more wins in his career at BYU. In those 5 games, he was 0-5, so he lost all 5 of those games, and he threw 1 touchdown pass to 7 interceptions. And how ironic is it that the year BYU plays a weak schedule this past year because of the pandemic, Zach Wilson has his best season yet, facing a bunch of cupcakes, okay? And look, I understand Zach Wilson put together an unbelievable year at BYU. But I don't know how much better Zach Wilson is going to get as a player. I just don't see the ceiling that everyone else sees, and I don't think that he is going to turn the New York Jets around. At least, I think that this is going to be a disappointment. I could see Zach Wilson easily becoming a bust and disappointing with the New York Jets because he's landing with an historically dysfunctional organization, an organization that can't get out its own way. He's going to be going to a very brutal division with a bad roster, and I don't know if he has the mental makeup to get through this. Again, does Zach Wilson have talent? Yes, he does. Can he become a great quarterback one day? Potentially, but the chances of that happening are very slim based on the circumstance and for all the reasons that I mentioned. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.